Good morning. Hello, welcome. I'm aLex. It's December 27th. We've had a little cold snap here in Northern Virginia. This morning, I think it was 27 degrees, and I just walked the dog a little while ago. And we're in the midst of this holiday season. A lot of thought for me about traditions, ones that are cultural that we are part of, and some of us take part in them I don't know if there is a norm anymore, but there's traditional ways, the way things have always been, and many of us fashion our own traditions uh, from our families, or just we start something new. And this year is certainly called on fashioning new traditions, hasn't it? So I was reflecting. We were thinking of making a trip to New York to see my husband's family, his mother in particular, who we haven't seen in a year, and her health is diminishing, diminishing. So we thought we would go this weekend, um, and I was reflecting a lot about how many people would be on the road, and would it be safe, and the rules that New York City and state have. And I was feeling the power of our own need to go. We weren't going for a Christmas reason, which I was figuring many people would be going for that reason, even though it's been recommended that we don't go, that we stay home, that we stay local, that we gather with just the few people that we live with or see frequently. And it was a bit of a soul search, as I'm telling my story. Maybe you have also this year have searched for how to welcome this season, to celebrate this year, the solstice, Christmas, Hanukkah, everything that we celebrate, Kwanzaa, and even the new year coming up. How do we do that in a smart and safe and equally meaningful and poignant way? So we are such creatures of habit. Habit serves us so well. And part of why we come to sit is so we can become more aware of our habit and the habitual patterns and activities and ways of seeing that we have taken on, and hopefully um, in time see when those patterns are not serving us, and when a different choice may be the smarter thing. And traditions and the gifts. This is a time also of receiving and giving gifts. Even the idea is starting at Thanksgiving. Many people label their offerings as thanks and giving, and there is some kind of feeling, I believe, and check this out for yourself, that when we feel we have our own abundance, whatever that is on the inside, and we have what we need, that there's a natural feel that we want to give, of giving. Again, check that out for yourself, but it seems to be true here. And in some instances, I'm thinking about how well do we receive? How well do we receive? And just pondering the whole flow of giving and receiving again, and what we can become more aware of and alert to on the meditation cushion is the giving and receiving that we can give ourselves. So, in part, what we are doing on the cushion on our seat is to listen to ourselves, to listen. Some of that becomes the noise of our mind's chatter, the body sensations, and all of it. We can include that instead of pushing it away, or we can also notice the next step of noticing that mind. I'm noticing how I'm gripping the mind, and I'm not a good meditator, and blah blah blah. Then step and step and step, and that gift of ourselves to open, create a little more space, let the listening be a little bit larger, to include all the banter, all the giving, talking, and receiving that's going on right here inside ourselves. So we can learn to see how we are, what we are giving ourselves, see what we are receiving, how we're receiving it. And all this can um, guide us to a place of more harmony and more peace with what is, with the new now that's ever coming up as we come up to the new year. So let's take our 12-minute sit. And I've been liking to start, make sure your seat is comfortable. And I have been liking to start with a bell and a bow. The next important piece is to set up your seat, that it's comfortable, something you can sustain for these 12 minutes a day. Little rose here. So finding the ground despite the distractions, finding the way your body meets the ground. And in particular, I'm really fond, as you know, really fond of paying attention to what seems to be very common every day, what seems to be very obvious in fresh ways. So as we just take this beginning seat, perhaps just ever so gently roll the pelvis back, just a tiny bit as you're breathing, and then come back to neutral and come roll the pelvis forward, just as if a couple hairs breaths. At the same time that you're being very conscious of the pull of gravity through your body, pulling right to the core of the earth. A couple more tilts, just really watching and feeling how every part of you that touches the ground as we tilt a little bit back and come back to center and a little bit forward. Quite a variation of what happens at the sits bones, at the legs, at the feet. And then come to center. So find that place that feels like you're right between what's forward and back, and where the central channel just in front of the spinal column can easily receive a downward flow of gravity and the upward flow of levity. We allow our shoulders to relax. We allow the way we've placed our hands to be conscious and also relaxed, with a little bit of alertness, of consciousness of what that we hold the shape, not simply collapsed, but relaxed. You notice the energy of your eyes. You may meditate with eyes closed, or you may join me in what I've been doing the last few years of a soft gaze, just gazing unfocused down at the floor a little bit in front of me. A set of pointers I use to set up my portals to presence and meditation are ground, breath, and sound. Ground and breath we visited, and breath can visit again. And anytime you feel like you need a tether, a coming back, um, an assist to help you be present, and just watch, observe 3 rounds of your own breath, just as it is. And sound. You might feel how powerfully that brings the outer right to the inner, connecting ear, hearing with bird or dog. This room, the sound, is code word for all that's around us, all the space around. So we've been noticing, in a sense, of all that we're receiving from within and from without. And we step back more and more just to sense that one who is observing, receiving sensations, the requests. You might start to detect as you shift toward that, noticing the one who's observing. It might almost feel like from above or behind. Begin to see that these patterns, traditions, all the passing sensations are not the same as our true self. Expressions of, but coming and going. And for just a moment before we bow, sometimes the very end of meditation, just before the bell rings, is when it becomes really potent. And perhaps in this potency, we might just sense, not think, but sense that sense of this gift of our being and receive it. Palms come together in front of the heart. the right and the left. And I bow to you. And I invite you to keep observing. It's funny, this effort of being mindful as one of the benefits, and maybe you notice this, the benefits of daily practice is that it starts to spill over into your life, that you're just more aware. It doesn't take, just like the light is on, you don't have to make the effort, but you're more aware of the breath in your back. You're more aware of the way you're holding your posture. You're more aware of the way you respond to someone. And we need to keep making space for that and letting it flow, because um, sometimes what we see is wonderful and sometimes it can be jarring. And we can keep opening to more compassion for ourselves and what we find, and getting a truer sense of who it is that we are as we meet each moment in each tradition. And wishing you a very happy new year. I'll see you on, I don't know what day that is. Is it the third? I haven't looked at the calendar. Next week. Check out sunandmoonstudio.com for all our offerings in the various places on Zoom, on YouTube, and workshops, as well as classes coming up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being gift to me.